Morning, guys. I'll just give it one more minute, then we'll start. Just get everyone onto the onto Facebook Live. So guys, I'm going to start now. Thanks for joining. We will be recording this video and we'll send out the slides to all the pubs and also upload it onto Facebook. The basis of today is to go through all these process in terms of stock, where we can help you and where you can help yourselves as well. It's a bit of a refresher for some, but for some of your team members, it'll be new stuff. What we're going to be covering: amending deliveries, prep and part, and what reports to look at as well. So with you today is myself, Paul Beeling, Food Operations Manager for Local South. We've also got Adam and Ben on the comment section, and right next to me is Richard Riley, who is a retail system analyst, so the expert on anything to do with Aztec. He will be here as well to ask any questions. Guys, if you have got any questions, please put them in the comment box, but once you do that, can you please make sure you put your house number on there as well, so if we do have an answer for you, we can send it back to you at your house as well. State of play, guys, in Local South. This is after 17 weeks of the year. £309,000 down. That's roughly around £800 per site the year, and around £49 per site per week. Again, I think we can get this down quite a lot lower for everyone in the LP South. So using some of the reports and some of the process we're going to discuss today will hopefully help you tackle some of these issues you're having back at site. The key focuses for us in LP South and ones we're going to discuss today is obviously the focus sites and those that are performing badly in terms of stock. Also going to touch on line checks, petty cash, accuracy of stocks and checking your stocks. The meat part of your food stocks, these are really high-end items and really do damage your stock. Start losing them in bulk. Talk about the delivery process and also a bit about oil and chips. So starting off, guys, about line checks. This is real basic stuff we should be doing. So the compliance is 5 line checks a day, 5 days a week, but it's best practice to aim for 7 days a week. So if you do miss 2 days, you're still going to be hitting your 5. We really need to be picking the 5 biggest losing items on a Monday morning. So once you do your stock on a Monday, you choose your 5 biggest items that you're having problems with, and those are the ones you line check throughout the week. So if you're losing on chicken, fish, and scampi, you check those items throughout the week. There's no point you checking items that aren't affecting your stock. That's just a box ticking exercise. So if you're losing on certain items, you really need to focus on these. System poll over at 2 o'clock in the morning, so doing line checks this after midnight doesn't work and it won't poll over onto the reports. And what's a really good process, and one that we're doing a lot in a lot of the sites in different areas, is printing off your line checks on a Monday morning for the whole week, put them onto a clipboard and leave them in the kitchen. So the guys in the kitchen have got them all there ready to go. Moving on to petty cash, this is still a fall on our side in LP South. I think for the last period, about £3,000 of petty cash missing. The process is we need to complete this on the day of purchase to ensure our stocks are accurate. So what you need to do, guys, is log onto Aztec and select APOS, and under delivery notes, click new, then supplier buy local. There's an example on the screen there as well how we do it. So if you bought bread, for example, you put delivery note bread and the date you received it, and what you need to do when you go into the search column is put it onto the line that so if you bought bread, you put it on the bread line of your food stock, then you also change the price on it to match the price you bought it at. So it's really important, guys. We're missing this quite a lot currently. We need to make sure we do it on the day of purchase and not leave it for weeks and weeks and weeks. So this seriously skews your stocks. So if you've got £300 worth of missing petty cash at the end of the period, you're declaring your stocks £300 better off than they actually are. Recording wastage, we are getting better at this, but I still think there's still some sites that aren't following the correct process. This process is two-way. Firstly, we should be recording it daily in the kitchen book. So this shows due diligence for EHO as well, but also keeps a good track of where you're losing your stock. And to put it on the system, we should be doing it on a Monday morning. So when you go to your edit audit and you're entering the stock, you come up to the screen you can see on there now. You check the F5 wasted adjustment button, and it'll come up exactly for that line. Why this is good, guys, is because when you press that button, if you're on that line, it will come up with the exact line, so you don't have the product search. So if you product search French dressing, for example, you come up with 15 or 20 different French dressings. This way it goes exactly on that line. So you won't be creating all those extra stock lines on your stock sheet. So you won't be having pages and pages and pages of random products that aren't on your stock. So again, this is just a little recap on wastage. Pound of items, it will still be £100 down your stock. You just don't cover that up with the wastage. It is still a cash loss at the end of the stock. Again, must be recorded on a Monday via Aztec. We will talk about how you control your wastage a bit later on by using the prep and par planner, but this is really, really key for a lot of the process we're going to be covering. So moving on to amending delivery notes and the credit process. For me, this is really key in LP South, and we have got better over the last 3 or 4 weeks, but we've still got sites that are missing hundreds of pounds worth of items because they're not amending their delivery notes correctly. So this is best practice, guys. So once you place your food order, print off your delivery email, your food order, and any stock out emails. And with this email, you can accurately check your deliveries off. If items are missing from your delivery, you must follow the process below. So adjust the items on acquire on the same day as delivery before 11:45 p.m. So just to repeat that, you need to do it on the day of delivery before 11:45 p.m. So if you're missing a box of fish, you need to go into acquire on the day it turned up or didn't turn up and edit it on to acquire. After you've done that, you need to phone or email K&M. All the details are below, but for me, guys, I'd use the email. It's so much quicker, and you get an email trail as well. If you're going to phone K&M, you could be on hold for maybe 30-35 minutes, if not longer, at peak time. With this email address, it's going to be so much easier, and you've got a way of tracking it as well. So that is a basic copy of what a email template would be like to K&M. So you copy in invoice variance and your BDM. You've got your order reference in. Again, guys, I've sent this out before, but all these slides will be sent out to you after this presentation. But this is a really, really quick way of saving easy money. So if products aren't coming into your business, you shouldn't be paying for them. So this is one way of stopping that straight away. The only other time that you don't need to contact K&N are for the following products. So that's fresh meat, fresh fruit, salad and veg, and buffet box items. You still need to raise a PQS with those and not contact K&N. So just to recap the first part of that presentation, we've got so line checks, petty cash, wastage, and amending deliveries. All this we can do throughout the week. So when we come on a Monday morning, it is less stressful for you, and people are chasing petty cash, chasing their wastage, where their wastage is, and trying to chase missing delivery notes or amending delivery notes from a week previously. It doesn't work like this. You need to be able to, you're organised on a Monday morning with all this ready to go. It will make your job so much easier and make the stock process less stressful and more accurate. So we're just going to go on about the stock taking process itself now. A little picture there for you Game of Thrones fans. So after you entered it into your stock into the edit audit screen, you'll come up to this reporting screen. So the first thing we need to do is check delivery notes. So we do that firstly into Aztec by clicking that button there. It says delivery notes. And you'll come up with a screen very similar to this. So first thing you need to check is how many deliveries you have a week. So if you've got 3 deliveries and there's 4 deliveries, you've got an issue, you need to contact invoice variance, but you need to match up if you've got the right amount of deliveries. Also, you can click the yellow box and it tells you what was delivered in on what day. So that's the first thing you need to do before checking your result. You also need to check that Aztec delivery notes with your invoice query tool, sorry. So that is what you get charged on your P&L. So why it's really important, guys, is that sometimes delivery notes will go in there that aren't yours, especially if you're a site like a Red Lion or a White Swan or King's Head. There's quite a lot of those in Green King, so sometimes you might find one of their delivery notes have been sent to you. So this is a good way of matching those two up, so they should be matching pretty much spot on. Also, don't delete any invoices that are starting with INV. These are from invoice variance teams. If you have got any issues with why they're on there, if you contact one of your food coaches, we'll shed a bit more light on that for you. So guys, if you've got any questions before we move on, can you just type them in the comments box? We've got Adam and Richard here who's going to start answering any comments or questions that you may have. After we've checked the deliveries and deliveries all match, we look at actually analysing the stock. So the report we should be using for food, guys, is the stock holding with variance, cost, value and yield. The one that's highlighted in red. So why this is a good report to use is because it gives you a whole plethora of information. I'll go down column by column and break it down for you. So opening stock. So when you see this, this is what you counted and accepted the week before. This will never change. This is what you counted and accepted. So if you count purchase stock, again, is what we bought. This is another sort of final check of checking your delivery. So you click on the yellow box and it opens up when it was delivered and how much was delivered. Wastage we have talked about. So when you put your wastage in, that will come up on that column there. I'll say, for example, 0.5 of Caesar dressing. And closing stock is what you've actually counted this week. And that will come up. That will then work out a consumed total. The next main section is the variance boxes. So you've got stock, cost and value. So that will give you a minus or plus figure. And that will also give you the cost of that minus or plus and also the value. So for example, for the one we've just seen there, Caesar dressing, 0.9 down at a cost of £1.23 and a value of 8.69. The next box along is the theoretical reduction. So this is what you should have used for that week for those products. So if you put through 50 burgers through the till, your theoretical reduction on the burgers will be 50. And the final column that's highlighted in green is stock value. So this is really important you check this as well. Currently we do have some sites that aren't checking their stocks before accepting. So anything over £50, guys, we need to be thinking why we got products in the business that are over £50. If it's something like a ribeye steaks or fillet steaks, or you're a busy food house, you maybe got hundreds of fish, you'll be over £50. But if you've got £50 of balsamic vinegar or £100 of balsamic vinegar, there's either one or two things happening. You've ordered too much and have too much on hand, or you've entered it into the stock incorrectly. So it's a really good way of checking any input errors as well. It's really, really key that you check these reports before accepting your stocks. Down line by line, all the categories, you'll get to your final result. So for food, this is really important. We click the retail at cost variance. So we don't use the traditional, that is for liquor. So it's retail at cost variance. So we click that button there. You'll get a screen very similar to this. And this is where you find out your final stock result and how much you're missing in terms of cost. So for the stock here, we pulled was a cost variance of minus £253, and the actual GP on the right hand side is 60.115. In the boxes on the left hand side, it will give you a whole host of information. One will be your takings, your opening stock cost, so that's how much stock you had last week, how much you bought is purchases, and your stock on hand cost is how much stock value you have now. So the stock on hand cost, guys, if you've got 10,800 the week before, then it all of a sudden shoots up to 14,000 or 15,000. There's a couple of things have happened there. Potentially one would be you've ordered too much stock, way too much stock, or two, you've entered in correctly somewhere and that you've padded your stock somehow by maybe entering in 1,000 tins of beans instead of 10 tins of beans, for example. The other column that we're going to talk about is what you'll find on this report is cost of ingredients, which are not part of any items sold. So we're going to talk about that on the next slide, but this is one that comes up a lot on phone calls we get in the food team on a Monday. This does come out of your stock, but I'll show you what it means on the next slide. But this is where there's been a movement, positive or negative, on an ingredient that is not part of a recipe. So example of this is if you're using the wrong product, if you've got petty cash entered on the incorrect product, so if you haven't put it on the right line, but also for substitute products as well. An example would be currently they'll send in another cod as a replacement. That will create two lines in your stock. One will be minus a figure and one will be positive, and one will have on the right hand side INGS, that will be ingredient not sold. So that will be a minus figure, and that will sit in that line that we saw on the previous slide. So that is the three things that will be used on those lines. So wrong product used, you've entered the petty cash incorrectly, and substitute products. So if you want to find out the full list of your ingredients not sold, you go into the sales and profitability in the top right hand side. So you click on that. Then on the final page of that, you'll get a whole list of the products that are on that ingredients not sold. So this is really important. So some of this might be items that have been substituted, which is beyond your control, but you'll get the positive effect on other parts of the stock. But some of it might be because you're using the wrong coffee or the wrong tea bags or the wrong cheese. So it's really important just to go through this and check, am I using the right products? Am I following the spec? And how's that affecting my stock? But before we move on, it's just really important about accepting food stocks, that if you are more than £50 up or down on a Monday morning, you need to call your food ops support person or BDM or your AKC before accepting. And this is really, really key. We do have sites that could be hundreds and hundreds of pounds down, but then accept their stock, then there's nothing we can do to help them. So guys, if you call us on a Monday morning and we can dial in and we can check your stocks, give you some support, but please, going forward, if you are more than £50 up or down, please call one of us or your BDM or your AKC. We're all here to help and try and make the stocks a bit more accurate. So going on to what can you do, we've looked at analysing the data and also looking at deliveries, petty cash and line checks. So what can we do as in terms of in kitchens and backup sites? Portioning items for a whole host of reasons. One, service, one, quality, and another is for stock and helping you save your stock, basically. So what items should you be pre-portioning? If you've got an issue with baked beans or mushy peas, we should be pre-portioning those, weighing them out, pre-portion them. If you've got a problem with chips, I wouldn't expect you to pre-portion 200 portions of chips, but you can put the chips into a gastro tray with a prep pot, and as you put them into the fryer, count out 1, 2, 3, 4 portions. But we should be tackling this, guys. If you've got issues with certain products, we should be portioning them up. The key items should always be portioned up, like mashed potato, veg, mushy peas anyway, but if you have got problem items, this is a really, really quick way of getting control of your stock quickly. It's also good to use in your teams if you've got a new person as well, because some people might just say, I know what 50 grams look like, but until they weigh it, it is very, very confusing or misleading. Do a grab test with them. For salad garnish, for example, if it's 15 grams and they're just putting a handful of salads on, that soon adds up. That could be 25 grams or 30 grams. So guys, please make sure we're portioning up everything you need to be portioning up. So team grazing, guys, this is a really, really interesting one. And the figures I hear that we've worked out are totally accurate. So if each member of staff eats 5 chips a day for free, that roughly equates to 2 portions of chips per day in your site. That roughly equals £5 of sales. So across local south, we've got 368 pubs. That equates to around 730 portions of chips a day. That is around 1,850 food sales per day. And for a week, that would be 12,900 of sales. That's about £3,000 worth of stock if everyone had 5 chips a day for free, basically. So team grazing, guys, that goes chips is always the major one, but also coffee as well. So a lot of sites will be down on illy coffee. We have Nescafe staff coffee that we can get. So even if you're giving out 5-6 cups of coffee a day on the illy coffee, that will soon add up over the weeks of 35-40 cups of coffee, and you'll be down tins of the illy coffee beans that are really, really expensive. So just please use the Nescafe coffee, but team grazing is a real has a detrimental effect on your stocks. A bit on oil management, guys. As I said earlier, these will be sent out to you, but it's sort of a question answer, but I would also print these out and go through them with your team or at your next team meeting. Just really want to touch on some main points here, that we should be filtering and cleaning the oil daily, and also that we need to make sure we have the right oil management kits in site. When we send out the slides for these, I'll make sure we add the oil management kits that we can get from K&N, so you can order them. We also have dipsticks in all sites, so you check the colour of the oil each day. So at K&N, we send back so much oil that could actually still be used in our fryers. So we're not really using the life of the oil to its full effect. So as well as filtering and cleaning the oil, we need to make sure we're using the process of cascading. So this is where we cascade oil from one fryer to another. So we should have fresh, clean oil into the chip fryer. Then this is filtered and cascaded and then moved into fryer 2. Then the process goes on to fryer 3. It's really, really important that we follow this process. So we should have the clean oil in the chip fryer, and it gradually gets darker and darker as we cascade it into the other fryers. On the next slide is a poster of how to help you with oil management. Again, guys, it's getting sent out to you, so please print these out. There's some really easy, quick tips here. So even when you're in a hurry, if you overfill the basket, it just really lowers the temperature of the oil, and that'll make the product in the fryer basket just soak up all the oil. So one, you're ruining the product, but also you're slowing down the cooking process. So even if you put in half a basket, that will cook in half the time as you would with a full basket. Just make sure you skim regularly the particles out the fryer. So I go to sites and I still see people with like the old colanders or spiders. We need to make sure we get the right oil management filters. Also, we make sure that we turn down the temperature when we're not in use. So if you've got a lull between 3 and 5 in the afternoon, turn down the temperature on the fryers. That's really, really key to extending the life of your oil. Prep and par, so I mentioned it earlier on, guys. This is really, really important. This will help us in so many ways. One, it will make your life so much easier in the kitchen. So it'll tell you how much you need to defrost and how much you need to prep up. So it will help with your ordering as well. So how much you need to order. You also help with availability from frozen. So the food quality will be so much better. So if we ran out of pie because we haven't used the prep and par and we're cooking pies from frozen, that is really, really affecting our food quality scores and our benchmarking. So prep and par is found on dimensions. So if you put in GK preparation report, and you'll come up with the following options, and you need to select the 1.0.08 report. Double click on the week you need to print, and this will generate a prep list and a defrost list. And that is based on your last 3 weeks of sales. Again, guys, this is really, really important, something we should be using. This is currently a non-scoring question on the NSF, but it will be going to a scoring question on the NSF. So it's really, really important that we start using these and implementing these in your sites. The prep list is really, really good, but I also believe that the main one for me would be the defrost list, which is below. So that will help us so much. So we're not defrosting fish underneath the water. We're not doing pies from frozen. This will help you so much in food quality and making your life less stressful. So we need to really get in the habit of using these. The only time that this might not be applicable would be potentially after Christmas. So the first week of January, when your food sales would have been very up and down with Christmas bookings. But apart from that, you should be using this on a daily basis. If you do have any visits from myself or the food team, we will be checking as well if you are using prep and par. This is something we're really, really trying to hit home at the moment. So we need to really start using this going forward. It's a summary, guys, of what we've just gone through. Obviously, I will send these all out to you, but these are real key for us going forward in LP South and really having a strong focus on food stocks. So line checks, 100% compliance on key items. We've improved massively in LP South in the last month to 5 weeks. We've gone from 65% to mid-80s across the 300 odd pubs in terms of line checks. But again, there's still some sites that are doing only 1 day checks a week. So there is still room for improvement for most sites that aren't doing the line checks on a daily basis. Entering your wastage correctly on a Monday. Again, some sites are really good at this and some sites aren't doing it at all. It's a really good way of tracking where your stock loss is. Entering petty cash on the day of purchase. Again, we shouldn't be chasing this on a Monday morning or at period end. We need to do this on the day you buy the products. The real key one for me, amending your delivery on the day they come in. I can't stress this enough that we need to do this. This will save you so much money in your stock and also so much stress on a Monday morning, so you're not trying to find old delivery notes, because once the day has gone of the delivery, there's no way of us amending the delivery after that. Always check the stock before accepting. If you have got issues, please call one of the food team, a BDM or an AKC before accepting. Always accept internal transfers. The day of the transfer, again, a bit like amending deliveries. This will just make your life so much easier on a Monday morning, so you're not chasing your tail, getting really stressed when there's so much more to do as well. Use the reports that were just highlighted in the presentation. These are the reports you should be using. They're really key, and you should be using the ones that we've just highlighted. Really, these will really help you find in and drill down to the items you need to look at. Portion out key and problematic items for you. Again, if you've got issues with, I know, prawns or baked beans, portion up prawns and baked beans. You'll find that you'll improve, if you improve those key items that you're losing on, your stock will really turn around really quickly. Filter and cascade your oil, and also use your prep and power planner as just mentioned now. Again, this is really key for us and something that will really help you guys in the kitchen, make your life so much easier and a bit more organized as well. So using all the information you've got today and any questions you may have, you need to put a plan together in your team to help tackle any stock losses. Please share this with any team members that haven't seen it. So we'll save it onto Facebook, and we'll also upload it onto the YouTube channel. But anyone that's sort of not confident in stocks, or they may know a lot about stocks but just need a refresher, or you've got new members of staff, please show them this presentation and this video. Even if they're just looking at the reports or what buttons to press to find the reports, that will be so much helpful going forward. So if you've got any more comments, guys, please leave them in the box and Richard and Adam will answer them for you. But if not, thank you for your time, and speak to you all soon. Thank you.